Hello and welcome to another episode of Binding Roll, where we play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons in the world of the Ninth Age. If you've never heard of the Ninth Age, please click on the link in the description. It'll take you to the website that encompasses all that the Ninth Age is, which is a tabletop war game that I am very fond of and that this YouTube channel is dedicated to. But let's get to the D&D. Let's say hi to the characters. Oh, of course, Kaylin's video is off. Of course it is.
Dramatic entrance. Well, I think I forgot to mention last time what I'm drinking. This time, I already had my beer, so this time it's one of more obscure Southern traditions. It's Coke.
Obscure, so obscure.
Oh, with peanuts is quite obscure.
Oh, with peanuts.
Yeah, so you had a little peanuts floating in here. It's a meal in a glass. Not, give it a shot. I just got to level 5, so I got my second attack, and I am taking the spell, got a third level spell slot, and Pass Without a Trace, which will let friends within 30 feet get plus 10 bonus on their stealth checks.
That's going to help out. That's going to help.
Yep. So, yeah.
All right. Landval, what you drinking and what did you get getting to level 5?
Well, I've got a nice Pilsner here. I don't know if you can see that.
Cream?
And, yep. And for my 5th level, I've gained a second attack. So I can finally do more than 4 damage per turn, maybe.
Yay. Sunset, what about you?
So I'm drinking a work-in-progress cocktail of my own design that is slow-styled gin, muddled blackberries, and pomegranate cherry juice.
Ooh, that sounds good. The real question is, have you given it a name yet?
Yes. What was it?
Well, it's obviously not very memorable.
Oh, right. Sunset's End.
Sunset's End. Oh, I like it.
Ooh. Yeah.
If you shoot me the recipe, I'll put it in the description of this video.
I will do that as soon as I've actually got it nailed down. It's still a little rough around the edges, so
gotcha.
I'm
50%
working
booze.
on it. It is not quite 50%, but like 45% booze. So, but yeah.
What did you get for getting level 5?
For level 5, I didn't really get much, just Fireball.
Just like the biggest, strongest
just Fireball.
Fire spell ever.
Yeah, just Fireball.
All right, well, tonight I'm drinking this newly discovered craft brewery that's, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's something called Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's very nice. It's brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but it's a new adventure for me. But let's get to the story. Last we left off, you guys were in the catacombs of Kentemont, and you were fighting some undead warriors that have popped up mysteriously, and you were hired by the head of the palace guards. You were down there, you were fighting, you were lost in the maze for a while. Eventually, you found an area where you ran into the mysterious lady that is Calypso, who you met previously in the tavern, who has kind of like a, I don't know what you call it, like a hideout there. You guys had a little engagement. She mysteriously slipped out this secret back door, which you guys also discovered, and now you are still in that space. You kind of went outside, followed the trail out to a cave entrance that is down near where the ocean meets the bottom of the cliffs of Cantamont. Had a hidden entrance there. Yeah, it's up to you guys. What do? You want to go back into the catacombs? Do you want to head back to town? It has been probably a full day of you being down there. You are starting to feel exhausted and hungry. If you want to sleep, if you want to eat, now would be a good time.
Well, I have a good feeling about that. I also have my last slot can be used for alarm. So
I would say let's just return to town. Sleep in the safety of the.
how?
Oh no, you're down. You're outside of the catacombs now. You're on the cliffside. You could easily walk along the coastline back to the town, to the docks. Let me pull up the map here. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay. So we made our way outside. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing we did was basically got our first breath of fresh air in.
Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. There we go.
Just sneak back into castle and stab those bastards in the back, the ones who wouldn't let us in.
I like the idea of walking back down there and being like, hey, could you let us back in?
So let me mark where you are. You guys are right now.
You'd reveal our secret entrance, though.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, you ended up coming out
Like over here.
right here. Oh, that came out in a color I did not want.
Well, I didn't see anything. So.
Let's put a fluorescent blue. Is that good? No, that's
Oh,
not.
okay. Cool. Yeah, caves are down on the side.
How about
Yeah, a
orange?
nice little.
There we go.
It's better
Teal.
than the gray that it was.
It's yeah, gray on gray, not so good. Not so good.
It's a hidden entrance.
It's true. It's true.
Right down here. So that's where you are now. You can easily walk back along the coastline here. You can't make it past the edge of the city walls where you can see where the city walls fall into the ocean. So you'd have to go back up through the Peasant's Gate here to go back into town.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
What time of day is it?
You went in the morning time a long time ago, or probably an afternoon. So now it's a full morning again. Sun is rising.
All nighter.
You guys
Well-
been down there for a long time.
Well, that would not be a first thing in the morning is a common time for people to get back into the city to start the day. So going through the front door seems okay.
As you exit the secret passage, as always the waves are coming in and out of these caves that are underneath the city of Cantemont. They're doing that typical sound that gives the city its name, but you definitely notice something is wrong. What's coming out as the water goes in, it's clear, and when it rushes back out with the tide or with the waves, it comes out foaming and like a thick layer of foam on top of it that's kind of discolored and off a little bit. It is not the clear waters that are typically seen in the Bay of Cantemont.
Does it smell funny? Is there a
A slight
color
odor
to
to it. Kind of rotten
Odor.
eggs. Sulfur.
sulfur? Uh-oh. It's a dragon!
What? Where? I have advantage on charisma checks with them.
Oh yeah,
Let's test it out.
long lost cousin.
You're so friendly to those dragons.
Your handshake.
Secret breath weapon.
Right. I opt for going in back into town, and we can.
Yeah,
That's
so
up in
right
our-
now you kind of have 3 destinations to go to in the town. You can go back to the Unicorn's Bounty, which is the tavern in the docks area. You could go to the Keep, which is where the head of the guards is, and the Duke and Duchess. You could also go to the Dur side of town and go to House Dur, where you met the three sisters of Dur.
We have not completed either of those missions, so I would suggest not going to talk to them first.
Have we? I mean, didn't we grab the chest plate that had the symbol of House Door
You did.
on it?
That the warrior of Sugalag was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, as you head back toward town, and you get to the Peasant's Gate, it's what you would expect. In the morning time, there's much traffic in the gate. The guards are there. It's a wide gate, so the guards aren't checking in every individual person, but there's 4 guards at the gate kind of eyeing everyone as they go in and out about their business. There's wagons, and there's a few nobles going in and out of town on horseback. And
Okay.
yeah,
Be cool. Walk in.
be cool, man.
Just
be
like
cool.
everybody else. Be cool.
Just going to work. Nothing to see here.
Be like 3 Fonzies.
Everyone give me a, because you're just being calm. I guess it's a stealth check. Give me a stealth check.
I mean, I'm not trying to stealth. I'm just walking through the gate.
Then would it be like a
Is it
charisma, a
more like-
persuasion thing?
Or performance.
I'll roll persuasion.
Let's do.
Yeah, what-
No, you're not
Well,
talking to
stealth
anyone.
and-
You're not talking to anyone. So let's do a stealth check. Yeah.
Fine. I mean,
I rolled an 11.
15.
15,
4.
11. 4. Oh.
I mean, mine
Alright.
was also.
So as you walk through the gate, kind of tucked in between a few families coming in with like a large cart of hay and other wheat on their cart. Surprisingly, the guards don't notice the 2 Sylvan elves, but they do notice the Knight of Equitaine walking in with a cart of farmers. And they give you a kind of sidelong look, but they don't stop you. But you head on your way through. Where would you like to head in the city?
The
Forward from
tavern
the
for
gate.
some much needed rest sounds appropriate.
Yeah. Let's regroup thing. Get a hot meal and a beer.
All right, we
Perfect.
go to the
That.
Unicorn's Bounty.
If anybody asks about Sam, we haven't seen him.
Wait. So there's the place we're staying is not the same as the tavern that has like the fighting ring, right?
No,
No,
You're
it
saying
is
about-
the same.
Same place, same place.
It is the same. We
Same-
are staying
same
there.
place.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't seen Sam,
It's been a long
and
day.
we have also not seen Jacques.
John.
Yes.
Jacques.
Yeah.
Jacques.
J-
As you walk to the entrance of the Unicorn's Bounty, there's a lot of people around. There seems to be a crowd forming at the door, and the inn would normally not be this busy this early in the morning. But there's a crowd that has formed at the front door, which it's closed and locked. Not locked. It's just closed.
I've got the key for that.
And there's a crowd of people huddled around something at the front of the door.
I think, Lanval, you're popular amongst these people. You've won them some copper. Why don't you mind checking out what's afoot?
All right. Well, I kind of push my way to the front and see if I can spot what the commotion's all about here.
Okay, everyone give me a perception check.
Natural 1.
Durr.
Another 15.
12.
All right, 15. Sunset. This is a large crowd of people. There's a lot of noise, people yelling and pointing. In the throng of people, you for a split second you see, as you're pushing through the crowd following Landval, you see the face of Calypso, the lady who you ran into in the catacombs. For a split second, and she looks at you and gives you a quick wink, and then all of a sudden she's gone in the crowd. But as all three of you break through the crowd and get to the door, is a grisly sight. Slumped up against the side of one of the, what's the right word? The sill, not the sill. I should know this. I'm an architect.
Jam.
The jam. Thank you. The jam of the outside jam of one of the doors is a woman, or the body of a woman that is naked and what looks to be brutally murdered. Her throat is cut from ear to ear. Her eyes are bulging and her tongue's out of her mouth. And on her chest, carved into her chest, is not him, but is
Oh,
Jacques.
you got a graphic for this?
This has got a
Naked,
weird twist
brutally
to it.
murdered person.
Is this
Oh,
symbol.
Hmm.
all right.
Curious.
Is
And
this a
people
symbol we
people are
recognize?
yelling. People are yelling for the guards. This is, of course, the docks area where this is kind of where the non-humans congregate in the city of Cantemont, and there's not much of a guard presence here, so they're having trouble getting a guard's presence at this scene. You notice also outside is Porky, the innkeeper of the Unicorn's Bounty, kind of standing there with his hand over his mouth, kind of looking at the scene, the grisly scene, and in kind of shock.
I call out to him and ask him if he knows what happened.
And he says, "Aye, Landval, it's good to see you again. This body was discovered early this morning. It's a rash of murders around the city that's just barely started. The only 2 women have been found with this brutally mutilated in this way around the city. This is disturbing that it's come to my doorstep. I even know who this poor girl is. She's often in the tavern."
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What is this strange symbol inscribed on her? It's very, very unusual.
Give me a persuasion check, Landval.
14.
Okay. Porky looks at you deep in his eyes and he says, "You don't know what this is? You don't know this symbol? People speak of this symbol in hushed tones around the docks. This is the symbol of the dark god of lust. But keep your voices down. Don't let that get around too much."
I understand. Thank you, Porky. So who is this girl? Do you know much about her? Was she live nearby? Is this someone close to you?
As you're saying that, he took off his coat that he was wearing and kind of tries to lay it over the body, and he says, yes, I don't want to disrespect the dead, but she was one of the ladies of the night, shall I say. She was a woman for hire in this town.
And the others, were they similar as well?
I do not know. I merely heard that the other bodies were found in the city, all at taverns scattered around the city.
Well, I think we should ask around and find out more about this. Thank you, Porky.
If you need to go into the inn, just use the side door.
Understood.
Let's do that.
All right, you go in the side door. There's a few people in there, and to your great shock and surprise, Sam is sitting at the bar drinking a beer.
We
And
haven't seen him.
And he let's see if you're hold on. And he continues to sit at the bar, drinking, kind of humming to himself a jolly little tune.
I like his style. Oblivious to the world.
I've got a spell for that.
Well, should we talk to Sam or just pretend that we didn't see him?
Do you
probably
think he even remembers that we
Not at
took him
all.
into the...
He probably doesn't realize he even left what day it is.
Actually, I think it might be worth talking with him. You might have seen Jacques.
Who?
Jacques.
The greasy guy with the accent.
Oh, you mean John?
Yeah, sure. That guy. So.
All right. Well, let's buy Sam a drink and then see what he's up to.
Yep.
So as you pop up on the side of Sam and slap down some coin, there's no bartender right now, so you literally reach over and pour him a glass of, a mug of ale. He looks up surprised and he says, "Hi, Val. Last I saw you were in the catacombs. What happened? I lost you. That place was a mighty wicked place.
It was like a maze in there.
It was a
Running
maze.
around for hours.
I took a left turn, I took a right turn, and all of a sudden I was back at the Unicorn's Bounty. Don't ask me how I got here.
Wow. Lucky you. We've been in there all night.
Cheers to you, to an adventure. And he cheers, and he lifts up his cup to like give you a cheers.
Cheers to you as well. What do you think of this situation outside? The murder. That's pretty crazy.
He says, I've seen this before. I drink at a few taverns in this city. And it seems all of these taverns are plagued by a mysterious killer. The townsfolk are starting to call him Jacques the Ripper. I just made that up.
Huh.
Think of a better name. Julles the Ripper.
That's quite a infamous name going on there. Have you, like, how frequently has this been going on? This seems like pretty major news.
Well, he thinks about it and says, it's been going on for the past, what shall I say, month or so? It actually happened right when the past few months.
Wow. Well, hopefully this doesn't happen again.
I hope so too.
Can I roll insight to see if he's telling the whole truth?
Yes, you may.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
I feel like he may have slightly implicated himself in this.
No, Sam, that would never happen with Sam.
That's a 5.
Let me see here. What's Sam's persuasion? Or a charisma is what I'm trying to think.
Can I have a go? What?
Yeah, you can.
What-
All three of
what
you can.
checker?
All three of you can.
What's the check?
Insight.
Insight.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you're plus 2.
13.
Nice.
14.
Okay. So, Sunset, not familiar with the ways and mannerisms of humankind. It's kind of, you can't tell. But Lanval and Kalen notice that definitely he realized something right when he was talking to you, and decided to not share the fact.
Sounds like we should follow up on that.
Well, Sam, good talking to you, as always. Hopefully we'll see you again real soon.
Aye, anytime you want. Just let me know the place. I know the best watering
All right.
holes in the city.
Alright, I think we should keep an eye on old Sam here.
Yeah. Clearly, he shows up with a dead body. Great.
I might be into some stuff.
Actually, I'm gonna ask Sam one question.
Mm-hmm.
If you when you made your way out, did you happen to see our other companion? I think Jacques. He had a bow when you were in the catacombs.
He thinks about it for a second, looks up, and takes another swig of his beer, and he says, "Lad, or lass, I have, when I'm a drinking, I can't remember much. All I know is I got out of that dungeon. I had blood and guts all over my fists, but I made it back to the bar. My trusty weapons never fail me. But no, I saw no other people on the way out, at least from what I remember."
Oh,
That's a fairly interesting description of. So I'm pretty sure there were only like. Let's see. There was the three of us. Those two. The three of them.
And then Sir
There were a
Jamie
total
the
of
Knight.
8.
The knight
yeah,
went after.
Right.
Yeah, went after him.
so there was a living person that was.
Well, yeah.
in
So
his
there were a total of
vicinity.
10. Fleshy people, fleshy entities in that dungeon. Everything else was bone.
Yeah, maybe we leave.
I
him at
mean,
the
I guess
bar
it
next
could have
time
been
we
his
go in.
own blood, but the guts portion is really,
Usually, you notice that when you wake up from blackout.
Do you want to press him on the subject or just leave it?
I will ask him. What do you mean your fists were covered with blood and guts? There was
Okay,
nothing
give me,
living down there.
Give me a charisma check. Or a persuasion, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I can give you a persuasion check. That's gonna be 18.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I get a +7.
You kind of bear down on him a little bit because you're much taller than him. Kind of get over him and stare him right in the eyes, give him kind of the evil eye, and he says, "Well, Sunset, I don't know if I could. The last thing I remember, I was sitting at this bar drinking a beer, but my hands were bloody and all of my weapons were bloody. But I swear, when I drink, I don't remember what happens." Let me hold on one second. Let me give me a second here. Okay. He says, I swear I... And he kind of looks at you and then looks back at the door of the tavern, the front door. He says, I swear I don't know what happened to that girl. These murders started months ago. Actually, they started on the Festival of the Lady, which was exactly 4 weeks ago.
Sam, do you mind if I take a look at your weapon? So I'm curious to see what a distinguished fighter as yourself chooses to trust his life with.
Do you want to ask him politely, or do you want to intimidate him? Intimidation or persuasion? You get to choose.
I will go with persuasion. I'll be the good cop with an 8.
He looks at you and he sideline. He says, "Aye, laddie, I never give up my weapons. That's asking for bad news."
I'm not asking to take it away. Just if you want to show it off, I don't even need to touch it. I'm just curious if you would show us your.
Kaylin, are you accusing me of something here?
No, we're in town. Seeking resupply.
Good thing. Yeah, I knew you weren't. Good call. Now sit down and enjoy a beer.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna be able to push this. Get a good look at them later. But
give me an insight. Not insight. Perception.
Yeah. Well, got better odds on that. Is 21 good enough?
Yeah, that's good enough. You see on him, he has a two-handed club made of wood, with a leather grip and like a head of. It's all wood. It's all one piece of wood, but it's like a head. It's two-handed. It's a long weapon. It's about as tall as almost as tall as him. That's strapped to his back. And you see at least 2 blades on his belt, on both sides of his hips. And since you rolled so well, you definitely see blood on those knives.
Fortunately, we don't have match blood type people. Like blood's blood. It all looks the same.
Yeah. We're not exactly. Well, I suppose there's a potential for there being, magical ways to determine if the blood on his knives belongs to
I'm trying to
the
remember
girl.
the description of the girl. She was, had her throat slashed. Was there bludgeoning damage?
Not that you could see before, but you didn't look very closely.
I'm gonna go outside and have a closer look.
Okay, hold on 1 second here.
Get shanked by the crowd.
As you head outside, Porky's still there with the body. It's been covered up by a blanket. But now you see there are 2 guards and the head of the guards. This guy, I already forgot his name.
I'm going to
Who was he?
turn away or.
Claude.
Yep, gonna go back inside. Don't want to talk with that guy.
No, give me a stealth check.
$11. Because
Okay,
I got +7.
He doesn't notice you. He's too distracted looking at the body, but you head back inside.
Yep. Well,
I believe we can
What?
probably pursue this a little later.
yeah. I think get a rest, but yeah, Claw's out there pick out the thing. So, shall we rest during the day, and then
Yes.
All right.
So you head up to your room, or do you all rest, or do people not want to rest?
Oh, I'm
rest.
resting.
Yeah.
All right, so you head up to your
I
room.
mean, we can,
At once.
yeah. I mean, we can do shifts 4 hour. Oh, 4 hour.
No, you don't. It's
and-
you're safe, so don't worry about.
Okay.
I mean, there is a possibility like Calypso could sneak into your room, but
Well,
Again.
I'm gonna set alarm on the door.
Okay, fair enough.
Just on the door, or on an area around us, so that if she enters through the window again, it'll go
okay.
off.
All right. So the area around the room. Okay.
I think
so
it is an
covering
area
the-
effect.
It is area effect.
Alright. So you do that. You guys sleep for 8 hours, and everything's fine. No one disturbs you. You guys get your full health back, and your spell slots. And afterwards, you head back down into the inn, and it is much livelier. There's it's full of people drinking in the beginning of the evening time. Porky is behind the bar serving. You notice again, in the main area, there is again Calypso surrounded by a group of people, and she's singing her song again. And it was early morning, so what, like 7 before? You slept for 8 hours. So what, it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon?
Plenty of time to get into trouble. I cast Fireball.
Shall we go pay the doors a visit and return their son's armor? Yeah.
That's enough to prove to them that that's actually their son, though, or the fate of their son.
I would say that we can at least say this was all we found,
Correct.
which
They'll
is
be able to-
true.
All right.
Tell them that it was being worn by the monster.
Alright, so as you exit the Unicorn's Bounty, you see Porky give you a nod and a wink from behind the bar. As you exit the front door, the body has been taken somewhere else. It's no longer there. But you can still see a blood stain on the sill, on the jamb of the door where the lady was. And there's just your average group of people milling about the courtyard in front of the Unicorn's Bounty. You do notice that Sam was not in the tavern. Alright, so you head over to House Dur. And as you approach the guard at the front door, he says, "Halt, what business brings you to House Dur?"
We are on a mission for the ladies of House Door, and we have information regarding our discovery for them.
He lets you in, of course, because there's kind of there's a fair amount of people going in and out of House Door, but yeah, he's asking
He
everyone
doesn't
what
like
they're
the
doing
look
there.
of those 2 elves.
He doesn't actually.
Yeah, it's
He's eyeing the 2
oh yeah,
elves.
Sophia's got a thing for you, Landval. So
No,
Blanche
not
does.
Sophia, Blanche.
Blanche does.
Sophia's the one who
There's-
actually gave us the quest.
Right. Oh, but she was
All right,
interested
so-
in your armor.
As you enter House Door, there's a small line of people, presenting business to the Sisters of Dur. As always, you have to wait a little bit before you approach, but once Sophia, which she seems pretty motionless and not paying attention, but as you see her specifically notice Landval, she perks up a little bit and she says, "The returning knight Landval has come from the catacombs. What do you bring me, Landval?"
You're muted.
We bring you some golden nuggets of news. My fine
Please.
ladies.
The suspense is killing me.
Well, we believe we have found a piece or memento of your missing son. A piece of armor adorned with his crest. And a motion to Sunset to produce the armor.
Oh, I wasn't carrying it. You were carrying it.
Oh, no, I produced the armor. Does this look familiar, ma'am?
As you step forward and you lay the armor on the table, kind of the dais before all these four ladies, the Sophia leans in and hold on 1 second. Leans in and studies the armor, and she says, "Where did you find this? In the catacombs?"
Well, at the end of a deep and dark trek in a strange tomb, we found a curious creature who had collected several sets of armor and thirsted for more. And one of those pieces was what you see before you.
And that is all you found in the catacombs? She looks at you suspiciously.
Unfortunately, yes, we saw no other signs of your lost son. But I feel this is worth returning and showing to you. At least it is something.
She says, "Yes, this was my son's breastplate. I am pleased you found it." And with that, she slowly picks up the breastplate and puts it kind of beside her on the ground. Everyone roll an insight check.
I'm not paying attention at all. I'm looking the other way. 3.
21. I got this. 21.
3 as well.
Alright. So
Lost in my own
as Sunset stares off into the distance in her own world, and Lanval is winking steadily at Blanche, Kaylin notices that Sophia's reaction is very strange. She does not seem happy. She does not seem surprised either. She seems frustrated. As if she was expecting you to say more when she asked you the question, "What else did you find in the catacombs?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, her son did go searching for treasure. And... well, they're here. So, I'll say no more. So, is that it for the quest then?
She says, "Were there?
Does Kaylin have the axe on her?
Oh, who had the axe last?
Do
Was it Kaylin? Yeah, you're holding it.
It was
Yeah.
Kaylin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I imagine that would be fairly visible, and that's not something we had the first time we entered.
Okay,
Berserker battle axe. Yep, I do have a battle axe.
I just want to point that out.
Yeah, but this is a brute's weapon.
With the
Not-
I can't really do what I wanted to do because I rolled a 3, and so I have no idea that was what she's expecting. You know,
Mhm.
trying to keep character knowledge and player knowledge separate here, but
Yeah.
it is a fairly
yeah,
large axe.
It is a fairly large axe, but I mean, this is a brute's weapon. This is not something distinguished
It's
member of the House
inlaid
of
with-
Dwarf.
Well, I'm almost positive she doesn't care about what happened to her son. She cares about other things that were in the catacombs.
Okay, well, we're still right in front of them.
Sophia, after a moment's wait, asks you, "Did you see more sets of armor. Did my son have more sets of armor when you found him?
We did not find your son's body.
Oh no. No, we did.
No?
With that particular wording, we did.
He was the collector.
Yeah.
Ah. I'll let you take this. You can elaborate on that.
Well, ma'am, we did find a creature or a being that had several suits of armor with him, collecting them, you might say. But we did not feel that they were related to House Door. Obviously, we were incorrect.
The other pieces were ratty and unkempt. Not
Quite-
something that
quite
was
damaged.
With
to the
that,
ice.
Blanche breaks in. And she's talking directly at Landval right now. She says, Sir Landval, with all these great things in the catacombs, would you bring me one of them? Would you bring me a treasure to Blanche? And she winks at you. To Blanche, your Lady Blanche.
Well, how can
And
I
I'm
resist
gonna
such
go
a-
ahead and do a I don't know how to do this exactly, but give me like a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Is she trying to charm him?
She's it's not magic.
I
This is
got
no magic's
Ooh,
happening right
ooh.
now, but she is trying
Okay.
to tempt you. She is doing
I
all
got
of her
a 3.
womanly ways to tempt you.
Got a 3.
3.
3. You feel a very, very strong desire to please Blanche. You want to go bring her shiny and beautiful things, and it seems like she wants you to go into the catacombs again to get her treasure.
Well, I would love to, my Lady Blanche. Is there any particular item that you're most fond of?
That's a good question.
Strange weapons, unusual art.
Items
Giant
that will
snake
bring
skeletons?
items that will bring power to House Dur.
Magical items, then.
Yes.
Interesting. I will do my best.
Items from Equitane's ancient history.
Antiquities. I like it.
I'm taller than Landval, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna. This sounds beneficial to us. I'm going to lean down and whisper into Landval's ear. You know, we do have that axe. And I'll actually ask Kalen for the axe.
Now, does the magical knight return in 1 year to strike the bearer of the axe, or the original?
You do not know, but what he said to you, what he said to specifically Sunset, is I will come again in a year to strike you.
Yep.
Because you knocked his hat off.
Yes. Which I meant to ask, did he pick up his helmet before he disappeared?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Man, won't he be really pissed if you don't have his axe when he comes to pay you a visit?
Well, that's on him for giving
Hey.
it away.
Yeah, all he said was that he would come and strike me.
All right, well,
That's
that
That's
sounds like a
all-
you. Sounds like a you problem.
it is. And I'm prepared for it. I'm already prepared for it.
All right.
Granted, he
So-
could roll 100 and kill me instantly, but I'm about as prepared for it as I can get.
So, Sunset, are you you want that axe back? I think-
Yes, I'm requesting the axe.
All right, you got it. You got a buff.
I actually I just hold my hand out, expecting you to know what I'm asking for.
All right.
Okay.
Blade first. There you go.
You hand over to Sunset this intricately carved, beautiful axe. That's a two-handed axe. It's a big piece of a big weapon. With that, at that moment, basically all four ladies notice what this is. They notice it, and specifically Sophia's eyes go like saucer plates. She's like this big. She says, "Where did you get that axe?"
I will turn to them and say, "This was given to me by a knight in green."
Ooh. Okay.
Let's see what happens.
With that,
I'm also preparing to cast Fireball at a moment's notice.
You hear an audible gasp in the room, not just from the four sisters of Dur, but also from the other peasantry in the room. And Dorothea looks down. After a moment of surprise, she composes her face again, composes her attitude. She looks down at you and says, "You don't even know what you have. Hand over the axe, and you will become champions of House Dur."
But what's in it for us?
What does that entail?
We have influence to give you all the knowledge and all the power to join all of the great crusades from Cantemont. We have the power for you to meet the Duke, to meet the high classes of Cantemont. And we have the wealth to afford you the pleasantries and the comfort of the upper class of Cantemont.
Well, they're definitely speaking my language.
It seems like a very appealing offer. We can achieve a lot of our goals, I think, by pursuing this.
A lot of my goals, certainly.
What do you
my
think?
goals too.
I mean, the axe has no value to us, really. Unless
Yeah,
we...
it literally basically has zero value to us because nobody in the party's gonna use it.
We should pawn it.
Yeah, it's like this or sell it off or just, I don't know what we do.
I feel like this is gonna be the better way to go with it, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
accept.
You can't buy this kind of influence, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, at least not with the amount of money that we could get for the axe.
That's true.
True. All right.
I'm in
Yeah.
favor.
I'm into it.
I'm trying to decide. Do I want to play it up or do I want to be a bitch?
We're gonna get like
Well,
a financial stipend from them to be their champions, right? Do we have are we salaried
well,
now?
no. Ultimately, I'm trying to decide if I want to play this graciously or if I want to
Make them work for it.
well,
Like-
just
Bargain harder for it?
no.
These are
I'm
proud
trying. I'm trying to think of the word that would accurately describe what I'm trying to do, or that what I would potentially be trying to do. Ultimately, this is, at least this seems to be an artifact of relatively great renown within, the human culture, it means nothing to me as an elf. Like, what do I care? Like, so the idea is, do I want to appear, sufficiently gracious with this offer, or do I want to, play it off like, oh, well, I mean, if you're willing to pay that much for this, absolutely. Like, I don't care, and kind of like toss it at their feet. Like, be disrespectful or be gracious. I'm trying to decide.
I'm not
which
seeing
I
the
would do.
benefit of being disrespectful.
Yeah, that's generally the way I'm
leaning.
leaning. Is like, I
You
feel
can
like
be
I'll
rude
get
to them later.
yeah, I'll get much greater benefit out of it if I'm more subservient in this regard,
Yeah.
So I'll actually I'll approach them a little bit closer. You're close enough to be able to like physically hand it to them. Get down on one knee and then like present it to them. Like, yeah.
Like very formally, I guess.
Yeah.
Or as you do so, Dorothea steps up and stands up from her seat, and she's towering above you right now because she's on a platform, and you hand this axe to her on top of the table that she's sitting behind, and she looks at you with a stone cold expression, and she picks up the axe and lets out a deep sigh, and then she turns without even taking her eyes off of you and turns to her side and hands it to Sophia, who grabs it and kind of cradles it to her body, and she turns and exits the back of the room with the axe. Dorothea says, What do you desire?
Should we just start listing off
Power.
things? Money, power, horses, land, castles.
I just say power.
Ships.
That is it.
Exotic
So with
weapons.
this, we'll do a little movie montage where we play some good music, and you guys have the discussion, kind of get closer with the three sisters of Dura, and they explain to you their position in the city of Cantemont. The two prevailing families, or two strongest families in Cantemont, are the Durs and the ruling family of Cantemont, the Duke and the Duchess. They are often at odds because the Duke is the head of state, obviously, and he controls who gets to go where when it comes to the crusades that lead from Cantemont, which is highly valued by the nobility of the land. But the Dur sisters control the silk and spice trade, which is the #1 export out of Aquitaine on the ships. So they are very flush with money, but they desire political power. What they offer you is sigils of House Dur to wear, and they say they can grant you an audience. They can get you in front of the Duke at any time, and they say this sigil will get you into places that you cannot normally get into in the city of Cantemont. they tell you about there is in the Ordo of Cantemont, and Ordo is a weird word. Fair warning, I got from the guys who make the Ninth Age game. I got some background recently, so I'm trying to fit it into this campaign. So an Ordo is a place of religious learning, much like a cathedral, but more like a university kind of thing. And they have access to the leader of the Ordo of Cantemont. There you can learn basically anything you want about Equitanian history and the city. And again, also that has its own power of people who want to get into the university, the Ordo. The Ordo follows the religion of Equitane, which is the worship of the Lady. And on top of that, they say they can provide you transportation to anywhere else, any other city or port from Equitane, and they will give you living expenses, living money, and horses if you so desire.
Oh, good one. Quality patrons here.
Yeah, so good stuff.
Yep.
And they say, as champions of House Duer, they would like you. They explain they have also experienced a death of a woman in front of an inn, like was in front of the Unicorn's Bounty. They want you to investigate these happenings. There have been 3 murders in the city. One at the Unicorn's Bounty that just happened. 1 and 2, let's say 2, at the inn, which is inside the House Doors area of the city. No, actually no, just 1, and then the other one was in the near the tavern that is near the keep. These murders started happening a month ago, immediately following the Ladies' Festival, which, with the Ladies' Festival, numerous other people have come to the city for the festival. A lot of new faces, a lot of new people in the city. So with that, what would you like to ask them?
These murders, these women, was there any common threads or similar characteristics you can think of that might help us get a better handle on our search?
All of them were murdered in different ways, whether it be by a knife or by a bludgeon or a blunt instrument, or by drowning. They were all prostitutes. They were all ladies of the night.
Were they all marked with a particular religious symbol?
And they were all marked with that carved into them, their bodies.
Do you know anyone in the city guard, or perhaps in the law enforcement of the city, that may have a keen knowledge or be a good reference for pursuing this matter?
Yes, the head of the guards, whatever his name is, I always forget his name.
Cloud.
This dude, Claude. He is the man who controls all investigations of things like this. He has his hand in most happenings when it comes to security of the city. The only thing he is not involved in is petty crime, pickpocketing and bar fights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He said
Definitely,
also with the sigil of House Door, you can gain access to the keep and talk to him at any time.
So I got some Claude will be good friends.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to travel, I feel like this endeavor might take us far and wide across the kingdom. How would you recommend that we secure travel to other places and areas? Is there someone we could reach out to, or
Yes,
particular?
In particular, Rose can get you on any ship, can get you horses or carts or carriages to transport you to other overland. She can even get you access to the Cantonmont Zoo, where there are creatures of flight.
Oh, let's get the hippogriffs back.
Yeah, now we're talking. That's very generous of you. We appreciate this accommodation. We will definitely solve this mystery. I'm quite confident in that. With your aid, of course.
I have
Yes.
a question regarding this particular sort of cult around this symbol of lust. Is there known groups of that cult in this area, or people who might be knowledgeable of that?
It is not a cult. That is the symbol of one of the 6 dark gods. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get to where I was thinking here.
6 dark gods. That's a lot.
Yep.
That is the symbol of Sibaresh, the dark god of lust. Study of the dark gods is banned in this kingdom, but I know the lady and many other religions fight against the dark gods. The dark gods are behind what's called the veil, which is often stretched and sometimes broken by magic, where the dark gods can reach into our realm and tempt people. In this particular instance, with lust.
Does the Ordo have groups that search out followers of the dark gods to purge them from society?
No, the Ordo is a place of study and learning. They don't go out and do. Often, some of the crusades that are sent out from Equitaine, their purpose is to rid the taint of the dark gods in certain areas. Also, followers of Suna and citizens of the Empire of the Empire of Sonstal, which is the neighboring nation, search out the followers of these gods and execute them.
All right. Well, guess we'll just got to wait until we run into them. Follow them on the ground.
Dorothea steps in and she says, all of these attacks started at the Ladies' Festival. The majority of the peasants, and she says peasants with a strong P and spits when she said peasants, with anger, that have collected around the Peasants' Gate, all arrived at that time.
Have the peasants been bad for affected or your lucrative trade?
Yes, they've come to celebrate the festival, which has slowed production around the country. So the production of silk and spices have waned.
How much longer does the festival go for? Very long past, and they just didn't go away.
Normally it lasts for a week, but for some reason the peasants have stayed longer, this group of peasants.
Okay. So the group of peasants longer than normal, but the official celebrations are long over.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we can start interviewing all the potential future victims, the ladies of the night. Get friendly with them. That seems like a.
Do they know what order the murders happened in? Like, what inns? You know, where did it happen first, second, third, so
The
on?
first murder was by the inn by the keep, in the
Okay.
main area, which was 3 weeks ago, and they've been pretty much a week apart. And then it was the one in House Duer land, and then the most recent was the one in the docks at the Unicorn's Bounty.
What can you tell us about the other, I guess, the power structures in the city? Right? We have the docks, we have sort of the door realm of influence, we have the keep. What's in the northeast, north of the docks? What area of control, or is that a specific neighborhood, or?
Yes, outside of the city gates to the northeast is the green fields. That is where the majority of Cantamont's sustenance is grown. That's a large farming community. Yeah. And it reaches out for acres and acres and acres, and we're all outside of the east gates of the city.
What about the area that's immediately within the east gate? Is that a area known for anything in particular, or just other?
No, not in particular.
It seems like another.
It's kind of land, nobles housing of many different houses of lesser houses occupy that area.
Mm-hmm. Well.
So far, are there only 3 inns / taverns in the city, or are there more?
There
gotta be way more. Wait,
there's only
there are 3 major taverns, which are these 3 taverns, and there are numerous kind of small watering holes, just like a place that seats 8-10 people.
Okay, so not some place that's going to be a spectacle like these 3 have. Okay.
They're trying to send a message.
Oh, we got a week to kill. We can go to the keep, talk with Cloud, get some additional information.
Do all of the taverns have fighting rings, or is it just the Unicorn's Bounty?
No, just the Unicorn's Bounty.
Okay.
What if we try to go undercover and join this cult?
We might get killed by the authorities.
That definitely seems like a bad idea.
Oh, we have our sigils, our get out of jail free cards, right?
Unlikely that would matter.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't even know where to look for.
Sam Sandwich seems like a good inn.
Well, okay. You can.
That's assuming we can find him.
Just look for the nearest beer. Yeah, that can be like Plan B or something.
Okay.
I think that should be Plan Z.
My suggestion is to go to the keep. We'll talk to the head guard. He is the the center of all the information, seeing the bodies, collecting the bodies, looking at interviewing people and stuff. So I think he'd be the richest source of information for us to pursue next.
Okay.
That, stands to reason.
So you head over to the keep.
With our new door finery.
The door
Respectability.
sigil on your chest. With that,
Yep.
as you approach, the guards see your sigil and do not stop you, but they look at you with a little bit of trepidation. As you enter the keep, you enter the large great room, which you only saw briefly when you were ushered in the back door that one time to go to the catacombs. Inside this great hall, you see kind of a great... it's almost like a cathedral. It's huge, high space with stained glass windows and these flying buttresses, and really, as everyone speaks, it echoes throughout the space. And at the end is basically an altar or like a receiving area with two seats where the Duke and Duchess would normally sit, but they are not there right now. Inside, again, you see a small group of highborn elves. And at their head is the infamous, well-known highborn general Vespasian, who you have heard he is in town to negotiate trading routes and fleet routes through the Middle Sea. Also in the Great Room, you see many guards, many other noble houses, smaller houses here to pay respect to the Duke and Duchess. They are kind of loitering. They're hanging around, drinking wine, discussing amongst themselves all of the games that are played in royal courts. And off to the side to the left, you do see a group of guards huddled around Claude here.
Well, let's go say hi to Claude. And, you know, we did kill a lot of stuff in the catacombs. So.
That we did.
Yep.
All right, as you approach
Just
Claude,
didn't get that giant snake monster.
Claude sees you, and his eyes go big. He says, How did you get here? I sent you down to the catacombs, and you've been there for almost 2 days now. How did you escape? And
Magic.
How,
Your help.
did you stop the skeletons that were attacking? Did you find their source is the better question. They've still been attacking the entrance to the catacombs regularly.
Sounds like we didn't stop the source. They're still attacking.
Well, we did find a lot of skeletons, so maybe we need more manpower on this job. I think it's a little more than just 3 people can handle.
He looks at you. He looks at your new sigils of House Dur. He says, I will give you as many knights as you need, but you must, to protect Cantemont, we must stop these skeletons.
Yeah, we'll put it on our list. We have another matter to discuss as well, if you have a free moment.
He says, but I gave you this task. It is the most important thing for the protection of the kingdom at this moment. I need you. I beg you to finish this. Finish these evil undead.
Claude, do not worry. We will
Than a
handle the
murder cult?
skeletons. There's also a problem above ground, which is a little more visible to the citizens of Cantemont than the problems below ground.
Give me
So we
a
focus on
persuasion
the,
check. Give me a persuasion check.
That one first. 21.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Nice.
He says, He's exasperated and he says, "What do you wish to know? Whatever will get you down to stop this menace in our catacombs."
It seems that every tavern and inn's doorstop there's a dead body, and it seems to be getting worse and worse as the weeks press on. Like this is worrying the citizens. It's scaring the patrons of these residences. It needs to be curtailed, and we need to address that immediately, Claude. What can you tell us about these murders?
He says, "There's nothing of importance. The trash that has been killed in these attacks are the base of our society. They're merely streetwalkers. It's nothing of my or your concern.
Claude, a murder.
I have men working on it.
Are very concerned.
The murdered is of no consequence. It is the murderer that is of issue. A cult of the dark gods seems to have infiltrated the city, and you would do nothing?
Well said.
Well said.
There are many threats and dangers in this city. For now,
This is the most visible.
For now, these murders do not threaten the nobility of the city, but these skeletons do."
Well, it is
think
a
that's
priority
where-
for patrons.
Claude, you're wrong there. The nobility does care. That's why they've tasked us with this duty. Now, again, tell us what you can about these murders, Claude. We're wasting our time.
The first murder was 3 weeks ago at the inn that is attached to the keep, which I haven't made up a name for yet. It's at the inn called the Swan's Journey, which is the biggest and most well-known inn in the whole city. It happened 3 weeks ago. A woman was found at the front door in the early morning, completely drenched in water and lifeless. There were no marks on her except for the symbol of Sibaresh carved into her back. Then 2 weeks ago, at the Ordo's book stop, the inn inside the Dur territory. A second woman was found. She was found with her head caved in by a blunt object. And again, the symbol was carved into her chest. All of them were found naked. All of them were women who did not have connections. There was no family waiting for these women. They were throwaways. They were nothing of importance in this town.
You're quite a cruel individual, Claude.
I serve the nobility. I serve the House of Cantemont.
As do we, and unfortunately your lack of empathy is kind of a hindrance to getting things done.
Give me a persuasion check.
18.
Do that browbeating.
You give him a stern look, and he for a moment for just the slightest hint of a moment, his stern, cold face kind of softens and droops a little bit, and he says, "I do feel the pain of these murders, and I understand how determined you are, but I must maintain my my pledge and my oath to the family of Cantamont, and preserve their safety. I sympathize with your quest, and I wish I had more information. Any information I have, I will freely share with you. These murders started a month ago when the feast arrived. Many individuals, particularly in the docks area, and individuals that that frequent the Unicorn's bounty, arrived in the town at this time, including the sea captain Calypso, who is well known across the lands. Many pit fighters, some of them halfling, and also the large group of peasantry that is formed outside the Peasants' Gate. They arrived being led by a warrior priest of Suna from the Empire of Sonstal.
Interesting. This warrior, do they have a name?
I haven't given him a name yet. Damn it! Why are you asking me all these questions?
That's our job.
His name.
Fantasy
I have not
name
heard
generator.
his name. He is a silent priest. He does not speak many words. I've tried and sent my knights to understand his meaning and why he's at our city, but I haven't yet.
Has he been stirring up trouble?
He has not been stirring up trouble, but a large group of peasantry of the land and workers have followed him. He speaks words to them about ridding the earth of chaos and taking what is yours, rising up against tyranny.
Interesting.
Are the bodies available for examination?
The one that was found at the Unicorn's Bounty is. The other two have been disposed of.
Of course they have.
It's been a couple weeks.
Which means the one body that I actually wanted to see has already been disposed of.
I say we take a look at what we have available while we can. While it's fresh-ish.
Freshish. For a
That
quick
is
second,
reasonable.
Claude says, "What happened? What happened to Jacques? He was with you, and Sir Jamie."
Oh, so no love for what was the other one's name?
Oh, there was another knight. I forgot his name.
Yeah, it was Sir Roderick.
Roderick. Yes, he mentioned.
He was
Sir
the first to
Roderick
die.
also. He mentioned Sir Roderick also.
Yeah.
Well,
I just-
unfortunately.
Go.
No, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say I turn and look at sunset.
Yep.
Oh.
They were lost in the twisting maze of the catacombs. If they have not returned, it seems unlikely that they will.
So with a deep sigh, Claude looks down at the floor, and that is very disheartening news. The Duke will grieve Jacques' loss. I will need to inform the Duke of this.
So he wasn't lying.
Lying about
Being friends with the Duke.
It's probably the Duke's son or something.
oh, that's us.
Yeah, like that. That's like exactly the kind
We
of.
What
killed us.
What was the nature of the relationship between Jacques and the Duke?
They were childhood friends, and Jacques was the son of basically the Cantamont family head. I don't know if the right person is butler, maybe is the right person, or chauffeur, or like the the right-hand man, the body man of the Duke.
Sure.
And they grew up together. While the Duke was meant for nobility and royalty, Jacques was meant for none of those things, but was still present around the Duke at all times. And they have an old friendship, but they haven't. They don't see each other nearly as much as they used to. That's it.
Let me know if I need to roll a deception check on this, because I'm not, in my eyes, not being truthful. But I want to say he was very brave.
Yeah, there's no deception there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no deception there.
Put it on them.
We
We could put it on them. It's like we were looking for like some relief while we were injured, but they wouldn't let us through. And so
Claude bows his head and rests his hand on your shoulder, which is a significant sign of respect, because he normally is not fond of non-Equitanians. And he bows his head and nods his head.
right. So
perhaps when this cult situation is taken care of, we can return to the catacombs and search for any sign of Jacques.
But first, we must continue the investigation. Can you guide us to where we can see the body of the most recent murder?
He can, but before that happens, he again implores you to return to the catacombs to stop the undead menace. I need Landval to take a... What's the right test here? Because you are very tempted to go into the catacombs to get treasures for Blanche.
It'd be a willpower.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Sorry. God.
It's a will save, right?
Probably wisdom. Wisdom, I think, would be the
Wisdom.
correct willpower.
Oh, right. Right. Wisdom.
Because there's no willpower roll.
Yeah.
I think wisdom would be.
It's WI something.
Yeah. Because I think it'd be the same as he's trying to fight against a charm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a magical compulsion, but so it'd be a wisdom save, which is for the charmed effect.
All right, wisdom save 9.
Ooh. You want to go in the catacombs?
Catacombs. I don't know, guys. I feel like we should probably go back in with the skeletons and all the death. That was pretty fun. We can do the investigation later. What about the magic trinkets? And we almost died twice last time, but this time will be different.
Nah, I changed my mind. Don't worry about it. You can do what you want. Don't. I don't want to like force you to go into the catacombs you don't want to go, but.
I mean, return. All right. Oh.
All right. So you go see the body. What would you like to know about the body?
Would like to get a closer analysis of the wound of the symbol. What kind of implement was needed to make that happen? Does it look like it happened after the body was after the victim was deceased, or so it would be less?
That's the likely scenario. I think we can assume that the carving was done after They were
Yeah.
Yeah.
deceased.
All right. So the carving was done
I-
afterwards because it's not bleeding. Actually, you know what? Give me a investigation check. All three of you.
Uh-oh.
What I'm most curious about is what does the angle of the throat slit look like?
I rolled a 4. So actually, I rolled a 7, but I got a 4.
Fireball, what'd you get?
You said investigation?
Yes.
Yep.
7.
12.
Okay.
CSI Catamount is not very successful.
Hey, at least I rolled above average.
You definitely know that these were done post-mortem, if you want to call that, because there's no like blood coming from it. There was cut when there was no blood flow. You also notice that not only were these cut, specifically these, not the cut across the throat, but these carving the symbol were not only cut, but it looks like seared. Something of heat caused
brand?
the cut to like cauterize while it was being cut.
Oh, while it was being cut. Okay.
Sounds like probably need
Yeah,
a match.
You can still definitely tell it was done post-mortem, but it's like, how do I describe this? Whatever cut this was hot, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Was of high heat.
Yeah.
Sure.
For the cut across the neck, what's the angle of it?
Oh, so
like
it's like, you know,
from
So
the point
from
of
your
origin, is it
from
going
all
up,
three of
or
yours,
is it going down?
from all three of your investigation rolls, you can't tell. It just looks straight across.
Hmm.
yeah, we're not very good at this. It's not. We shouldn't quit our day job.
So, is she dead?
Yes, the body is very much dead.
Can I roll a
Very much.
medicine check to identify if she's dead?
Go right
Does she
ahead.
have any other?
Can I roll
Any
a
other-
medicine check to determine the angle of incision?
No. Your investigation already, that roll determined it, if you knew or not.
Any other markings, tattoos, anything like that on her?
No tattoos. She looks like she was of humble origins. She looks, based upon her skin color and eye color, she was Equitanian. That's about it.
Can I intimidate the corpse to tell me what happened?
Roll for it, see what happens.
My character's not drunk enough to try it. Also, she would never be drunk enough to try that.
Huh. Yeah, not sure what else to check here. Next is just go searching for Sam.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I wanted to investigate any of the bodies was with the hopes that the bludgeoned one was still around, such that we could identify the shape of
Yep.
the impacts and
Right.
potentially match it up to the club-like object that Sam was carrying.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately,
Yeah, he gets a wicked blackout drunk.
You can ask Claude those questions if you like.
that was exactly the next thing I was going to request that we do. Basically, on our way out, was I wanted to ask Claude if he can give us any information about the bludgeoned victim and particularly the impact wounds,
Okay, let me just see
Doesn't
what
that
he
get-
size, shape.
Double club.
Claude did notice something distinctive about that and remembers that the imprint from the club into this poor lady's head was square shaped.
Does that match with what Sam was carrying?
No.
Okay.
Guess he's innocent then.
We can't necessarily rule him out, but he's looking more innocent than he was.
At least for that one.
Yeah, at least for this crime.
So, still think it's worth having a chat with them. Maybe.
He does seem to know more than he was letting on, so...
True. Alright. So we take that as our next step. Go find the
I think that's a good plan.
Shorty. Okay. Let us maybe what time of day is it now? Should it be light at night? Probably?
Yeah, it's getting later evening. Maybe late night.
Well, it was 3 when we went to
Yeah.
the doors.
The doors.
I mean,
Sounds like a
evening
perfect time to go.
yeah.
Sounds like a perfect time to go to the tavern. Maybe there's a fight on? Huh? Yeah? Yeah?
Since we're in the area, maybe we should stop by the tavern near the keep
The
and
Swan's
just ask a
Journey.
few questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should check the other places.
That's a good call. Yeah, let's go lead the way.
You go to Swan's Journey. This is a rather nice establishment, you know, with plush chairs, velvet cushions on the chairs, dim lighting. It's not nearly as big as you thought it would be, since it's so well known. But it seems like all the nobility are here. Many ladies in full garment with big dresses and headpieces and junk like that. Men in armor fill the seating area, and there is a slender, tall, dark-haired gentleman behind the bar who's directing servers to go everywhere, and he notices you walking in and says, "Who are you? What brings you wearing the House of Dur, the sigil of Dur?"
We heard some amazing things about your tavern. Wanted to check it out for ourselves.
He takes a moment, looks you up and down. He says, "I'm not quite sure you are the right clientele for our inn. What can
Well,
I
let's
do
have
for
a
you?"
drink.
Paying off. We wish only to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away and then be gone.
What can you tell us of the murder that happened here 3 weeks ago?
He describes what he found was a woman in a puddle of water, literally a puddle of water, at their front door. He was the one who found her. The incisions were on her back. The interesting part was while her whole body was wet, and they assumed that she drowned. That her whole back, where the encarving was completely dry, like it was, her back was warm, and it was like around the carving was like red skin, like irritated.
That tracks. Hot knife evaporated the water.
Oh, sure. But like rainy that day, or like the puddle came with her?
That they don't know.
It stands to reason that she was wearing her clothing when she was dropped off, but it was removed.
Huh. Alright.
So they're likely being killed someplace else, not
Right,
just...
and then just being dropped off at the end.
Yeah.
Was she a person known to this establishment?
Give me a persuasion check.
12.
Okay, with hushed tones, he pulls you aside and he says, "Yes. This lady was someone who entertains fine gentlemen in our establishment. Only the finest of men have her companionship, often not being known to the lady, that man's lady.
Had she been present
What do you mean?
the night she was killed?
Oh, you mean like she
had
was
she,
the
was
night
she working?
Because they found her in the morning. He did see her that evening before, but not with anyone, just hanging around the tavern.
So it would have happened between when the tavern closed and the morning.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
when
the-
does this tavern close?
Taverns are, because they're inns also, they're basically always open.
Hmm.
But, in the middle of the night, it just business dies down a lot.
And so at what I assume she then left because she wasn't obviously dragged out.
He didn't see when she left, but she was, by the late evening, she was not there anymore.
Maybe there's somebody she worked or associated with that we could talk to. A friend or a fellow lady of the night.
Fellow lady of the night. Ooh, give me a persuasion check. Or intimidation, whichever one you want, whichever one you think is better.
Well, I rolled a 3, so it's not a great. not a
He
great
says
start.
he does not. She was the only lady who worked in this tavern.
Can I back it up with an intimidating presence?
Yeah, I'll give you a chance to intimidate him.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay. Here we go. Again, he says, okay. Let me just keep this quiet. She worked, or most of the ladies of the night in Cantemont work for the Society of the Crow,
Oh boy.
which is an organization that runs the illegal vices in the city of Cantemont. And from what I hear, they usually hang around the Unicorn's Bounty. Sunset, give me a perception check.
13.
Okay. You remember that the coin Calypso flipped at you when she disappeared had the symbol of the crow on it, which you still possess.
Alright.
I should probably add that to my inventory.
Sounds like, Alright.
Well, sounds like we're headed back to the Unicorn's Bounty.
Yep. Landval, you feeling lucky tonight? Feeling a little frisky?
Oh, sure, why
Do
not?
another bout?
Let's do
All
it.
right. So as you head back to the Unicorn's Bounty, things have really riled up there. There is it's packed. You see all the usual suspects. Porky's behind the bar. Sam's at the bar. Calypso is again singing to a large group of people. The Dread Elf gambling guy is in the back by the door to the pit, which is open, and there are fights going on right now. The thing that is different is that outside the front door of the tavern, you see a large group, like say 20, no, let's say a dozen individuals clothed in like almost rags, like, you know, very poor. They're all dirty, their hands are dirty, they don't have any shoes, and they're all kind of lazily laying and sitting and leaning against the wall around a tall man with a bald head and an iron siglet over his head, who's dressed in full plate armor, but it's a different style than Equitaine. And underneath his armor, he's wearing a red robe. And he's standing by the front door, sternly looking at everyone who enters.
We saw this guy on our way into the city, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So, peasant warrior leader dude?
Yeah, the
Priestess
guy.
Una?
Yeah, the guy that Claude was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's been a while.
I
Yeah.
honestly have no interest in him at the moment. I am going to walk in to.
Yep. Worships. Yeah. That's all right. Yep.
After
as you
Kalen.
walk past him, he is eyeing, like, just drilling holes into your forehead for both Sunset
cast Fireball.
and Kalen.
I don't cast Fireball.
And he as you, like, literally as you step by him, he says, "Be warned, harlots. Don't tempt me tonight." And both Kalen and Sunset, give me a perception check.
With modifiers, it's 20.
Oh,
10.
shit, okay. You notice, as he says this, he is carrying a large warhammer in his right hand that goes all the way to the floor, and with that, he taps it on the floor, and the warhammer head, glows like the sun.
So
I cast
we're
counterspell.
blinded.
No, I don't have
Blind-
counterspell, but
No, it's
We're
not
blinded
like
by this.
you're not blinded by it, but it just, like, you see it emanate a golden color, like it's the color of the sun.
I wonder what happens if I touch it.
I don't know that it's useful.
What? Can you describe the shape of this warhammer?
There
Yeah,
we go.
Like, is it big?
Did we get a look at it before it started glowing? Probably bright enough for
But
us
you
to
can
not
still
be
see
able
the
to
shape when it's glowing.
contour?
It's just glowing. It's not like
Okay.
the sun in his
Okay.
hand. Like, yeah.
Okay.
It is a rectangular shaped head. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any part of it that comes to a narrow point?
Give me a perception.
Something.
Give me a
A-
perception check.
Okay. Nine.
don't-
I'll roll a perception as well. Does he have any other items of note on him? Any other sharp implements or anything?
Give me what's the perception check?
That is going to be 16.
You can't tell. The two places you look is first the butt end of the hammer is a rounded copper piece. What you do notice is he's underneath the red robes. You are skilled enough to tell that there are weapons beneath there, but you do not know what they are. he has other weapons on him besides the warhammer.
Yeah. Likely
Is he-
something of a sharp implement. He probably can do the same thing he can do with the warhammer, with some other sharper implement that would probably. Do we notice any heat coming off of the glowing hammer?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very subtle. Not much heat.
How close is he?
Oh, let's say moments ago now, you passed literally right by him, shoulder to shoulder. But now you're in the tavern.
Oh, okay. I was just wanting to throw some water onto the glowing hammer. Yeah.
No. So there's a couple of things I can think of that might be reasoning for that. Size of the item being, enchanted, amount of power being focused through it. Like, if it looks like the sun, it might be able to have even a fraction of the power of the sun, in which case it can get much brighter and much hotter.
Right. Oh, okay.
So-
So it's may not be at its full power. This is sort of our discreet, want to make a point, but not like burn everyone. But it could if you wanted to. So yeah, I mean, this points to like the copper bottom. The point that might be small enough to do some drawing with.
No, it's rounded.
Yeah,
It's rounded. Okay.
but it is a different metal than what the rest of the hammer is. Yes.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
it could be removable. But also, he's got other weapons underneath his robe.
Right. You could just
Easily.
heat it, use it as a heater, and just
That
hold the
also
blade
is a
to it.
possibility.
Yeah.
That also is a possibility.
Okay.
If the whatever enchantment is specific to the hammer. Yeah. Well, I think we've got our prime suspect, but I'd still like to chat with Calypso.
Okey-doke.
So Calypso is
Uh,
currently singing to a crowd of numerous people.
I'm gonna walk over to the bar.
Okay. There you find Sam and Porky behind the bar.
I'm gonna ask Porky if he's got any paper and writing implement that I could potentially borrow.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he hands it over. Just
Okay.
a scrap of paper and an ink pen.
Now, I'm not entirely sure that she knows my name. So this may not work, but I'm just gonna write a note saying we need to talk and sign it with a kind of stylized sun and and SS, and then say deliver this to Calypso with a drink, and I'm gonna drop 5 gold on the counter.
Okay. Porky eyes you up and down. I guess give me a persuasion check because you wanted to do something.
That's gonna be a 20, not
Okay.
natural.
He Porky just nods. He looks at what you did and nods without it, no words being shared, and he pours a drink out of not the big keg of ale behind him, but something smaller and a little more special from behind the counter. He pours it into a short glass, takes the note, and scurries over to where Calypso is singing, and as she's singing, he hands her the note and the drink, and literally between breaths, she shoots the drink in her mouth, and then as she's still singing, she opens up the letter and looks at it, and as she gets about halfway through the letter, she looks her eyes up and looks at Porky, who kind of winks and nods towards you at the bar, and she sees you by the bar, still singing this entire time, and then she looks at you, Sunset, and gives you a nod.
I'll head up to our room.
Okay. Landval, Kalen, you want to do the same thing? What are you up to?
I mean,
Uh,
she's our contact in this group, so I'm basically going to be asking her about what she knows about the girls who were murdered.
yeah, do you want us up there with you?
You can come if you want. Doesn't
Didn't know if you
matter
wanted
to
some
me.
alone time.
Is Sam at the bar?
Sam is at the bar.
I feel like we should talk to Sam.
I think maybe you should talk with Sam.
All right, I'll talk to Sam.
I mean, I more or less accused him, so I might not be a favorite case there. I'll go up and join us.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, you
I'll
can
keep
do
an
my
eye
muscle.
on Calypso. No, I'll keep an eye on Calypso and follow her when she comes up.
Okay.
When she's done with her act.
So first, let's do Landval. You go over to
Yep.
Sam. You definitely notice by look and by smell, Sam is severely inebriated.
Well, that's not new. I pat him on the back and I order him another drink. How's your day been
He
going, Sam?
says, I thank you, lady. And he just takes another drink.
Sam, you can drink like no one I've ever met before. How do you do it? What's your secret?
It's all about practice, my boy.
Wow. How many hours a day do you spend drinking? Do you ever go outside or sleep?
You talk too much. Why don't you have a drink?
That's a great idea. I'll do that.
Okay.
I order a drink for myself. Cheers to you, Sam.
Porky pours you another drink. And let me think about this. Yeah, Porky pours you a drink, and you start drinking together, and you're having a great time. And eventually, Sam, he's blurting out a bunch of random stuff, and then he eventually says, "Porky, how much for the company of a beautiful lady this evening?" And with that, Porky's reaction is very negative. He turns and looks at Sam and says, "Ladies of the night are not allowed in my tavern. All these new ladies in the night, all they do is cause trouble." And with that, he slams down the last drink Sam ordered and walks away.
Wow.
Let's switch over.
What's up with him?
Let's switch over to Sunset. Actually, no, Sunset and Kalen. After Calypso finishes her song, she has another drink for a little while and slaps a few people on their back with joyous laughter and jokes. And she's just moving throughout the crowd. I want Kalen to give me a perception check.
Make it high. That's not high.
5?
So as you're watching Calypso and trying to see when she heads up to the inn, you lose sight of her. And you think, oh, she's just around the corner, and you end up going around the corner and she's not there. You lose her.
She's no longer in the tavern.
You don't know where she is. She could be in the tavern, she could not be. It is full of people right now.
Oh, I guess I'll start asking around. Hey, have you seen Calypso?
Everyone's pretty, having a good time. Everyone's a little buzzy, and with that, they also, I don't know, she was just up there singing just a minute ago. And with that, we'll jump to Sunset, who you are sitting in the room waiting, and all of a sudden you hear a light knock on the door of your room.
I'll go open it.
Standing in front of you is Calypso, with a wry smile on her face as she says, "Ah, you must be Sunset. What can I do for you?"
It may be more what I can do for you.
Ooh. Well, what is it you can do for me? And with that, she with ease strides into the room and sits down in one of the chairs in the room, crosses her leg.
I happen to be in a relatively advantageous position to potentially acquire what you came inquiring about some nights ago.
What did
And
she
I'll
ask for?
flash the house door thing. I honestly don't remember. I just know that there was something about us needing to.
She said she warned you not to trust the Dora family.
Yeah, and but she also wanted us to help her steal something from them.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
All right. It's gonna be a 13.
Calypso gently chuckles to herself and she says, "If you had what I was looking for, I'd already know it. But again, what can I do for you, Sunset?" And with that, we'll jump back to Landball.
Sam, you're such a cool guy. Great fighter, hearty drinker. Probably my favorite person in this whole bar.
He says, "Well, thank you, sir."
What's with that bar contender, though, being so rude to you? Is he always like that?
Oh, he is. Whenever I ask to find ladies in the bar, he always gets mad at me. I just say it now to piss him off.
That's a great joke. So, where do you usually find these ladies, if not here, Sam? Asking for a friend.
Give me a persuasion check at advantage because he's drunk.
Oh man, I got a 3 and a 4.
He leans in close to you and he's like, It's a secret where the best ladies are in Cantamon.
Oh, Sam, I'd love to know, but I guess I can ask you tomorrow.
He says, "Alright, I'm gonna have another drink."
All
And with
right.
that, we'll jump to Kaylin. It has been to the point now where you realize you have lost Calypso. You do not know where she is. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Alright, the plan was to go up and report that to Sunset,
Okay.
even
yeah.
before you, yeah.
So you head up to the room. The door is closed. How do you want to just walk in?
The door was not closed.
Oh yeah, I never said
I did not close the door.
So it's open. And you see inside, Sunset's just standing there kind of on alert, but sitting at the desk kind of almost across the room is Calypso. So now you two are together. What do you want to do?
Did I, what did I miss?
Not much. So let's see. I guess in response to her last statement, I'll say obviously I have not acquired it yet. However, I am in a position to do so. Additionally, my group is investigating the recent murders of some of the more promiscuous ladies. I was led to believe that your order housed and/or ran the facilities for these girls. I was wondering if you would be able to provide any information about this particular string of events.
Give me a persuasion check.
I'm here for moral support.
17.
Okay. Calypso before was, mockingly joyful. And when you said you were gonna get what you want, she's like, yeah, sure you are. But then when you bring up the murdered women, she becomes a little bit more serious. And she says, yes, this greatly concerns me. These three women were in my employ. They all got their... I was the one who gave them their work, who organized their work. Their deaths greatly concerned me also. Do you know who could have possibly done this?
We have some
with that,
suspicions.
we're gonna skip to Landval. It's back to Landval. What do you want?
Alright, fine.
Well, Sam, I know you're probably the best person I've got in this bar, but what do you make of that fellow by the door over there in that strange armor with this band of ugly weirdos? You ever see him around before?
He spins around on his stool and he says like, oh, that chrome dome? And he falls over back, passed out drunk. But what you realize is what he was pointing at was the warrior priest coming through the door of the inn. And with that, he walks in. He sets down his hammer, and the warhammer head glows much brighter than it before. And this time, it's kind of, you kind of have to shield your eyes from it a little bit. And he yells out, "This is a den of sin and lust. All that are in here, all the women of the night must pay. Come forward now to seek to face your judgment." And with that, please, Sunset and Kalen, give me a perception check.
– 14.
21.
Okay. Both At this exact moment, both Sunset and Calypso hear. Actually, no, you don't even hear it. You sense the use of what I can only describe as prayer, as powers from the god of Suna being manipulated and used in the inn beneath you. And with that, Kaelin says, or not Kaelin, Calypso says, I believe our presence is needed downstairs. And with that, she swiftly stands up and glides out the door downstairs.
Damn, I wanted to preempt it with that guy. Because the last question she asked was, do you know who might have done this? That guy.
Enter Exhibit A.
Do you guys want to follow her or stay in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see no reason not to.
Yep, we go
So
down. See
as
what's
you,
up.
all three of you glide with your elven frames and her agility, you glide down the stairs. As you enter, you see the warrior priest kind of like the sea of people is parting around him, and all the crowd is being pushed to the sides of the inn, and in the center is just the warrior priest with about 12 scruffy looking peasants behind him, kind of no weapons in hand, just kind of doing this with their hands. And the bar clears out, and all that's left is Lanvel and a unconscious Sam laying on the floor. And as you come down the stairs, the warrior priest picks up his hammer and points it at Calypso. He says, You are the leader of this den of harlots. You are the taint that has spilled itself upon this town. Answer for your sins. And with that, I have to unfortunately call it quits for this evening. I have a hard stop time, and it's about 10 minutes out. We will see what happens with the warrior priest and Calypso next week. You guys don't seem very excited about that. But
I had such a line. I was going to apologize to everybody for burning down the bar. And then I was going to cast Fireball.
Anyone who's still watching, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Good night.